In my opinion, the most interesting game this weekend involves two teams whose combined record is now 1-5. I'm talking, of course, about the New Orleans Saints' trip to Lambeau Field to play the Green Bay Packers. BETDAQ currently has Green Bay installed as a 9-point favorite in this game, 53 the total. Both these teams have been surprising with their struggles here early in the year. The Saints have been more surprising. Along with the Arizona Cardinals, who at 3-0 are undefeated, the winless Saints are the surprise in the NFL. No one thought the Saints were going to be 0-3 at this point of the year. Remember, last year, the Saints at home, that was a sure thing. There was nothing closer to a sure thing or a sure bet than the New Orleans Saints at home, 9-0, both straight up and against the number last year. However, they've already lost 2 games this season, and those 2 games have been to Washington and Kansas City, 2 teams whose combined record when they're not playing the Saints is 0-4. So this Saints team is having serious problems right now. Now, after this last loss to Kansas City, which was incredible, a collapse, they were up 24-6 late in the third quarter. The Chiefs came back, sent the game to overtime, ended up winning the game. Saints quarterback Drew Brees, who's now the leader of this team, especially with Sean Payton suspended for the year. Drew Brees put on the bold face to the media, said all the right things, said they were going to turn it around and they were going to become a great team by season's end, etc., etc. And I don't doubt Brees' sincerity, and I don't doubt that Brees is going to control what he could control, which is that offense. But it hasn't been the offense that's been the problem. That offense hasn't been quite as good as we're used to seeing it, but still, 6th in the league in passing yards through 3 weeks, 10th in the league in total offense. It's been that defense. I'm not sure what Drew Brees can do about that defense, but if he wants to guarantee the Saints are going to turn around and become a great team for the end of this season, he's going to have to do something about a defense that is last in the NFL in yards allowed, 32nd out of 32 teams. And I'll tell you what, things are not going to be getting any easier for that defense this week when they go on the road to face a Green Bay Packers offense that is going to be looking to get back on track. This Packers offense was prolific for the last couple of seasons. Last year, of course, Aaron Rodgers ended up winning the league MVP award. This year, unusually, I know Green Bay Packers fans probably scratching their head, 25th in the league in total yards through 3 weeks. And what's even more unusual, or just as unusual, this Packers defense, 3rd in the NFL in total defense through 3 weeks. No one saw that coming after they finished dead last, 32nd in the league last year in total defense. So one of those changes, the change on defense is welcome, I'm sure, to Packers fans. Nobody likes seeing a defense as leaky as this defense was last year, even though the Packers were able to overcome that defense consistently in the regular season. Remember, this team was 15-1 in the regular season last year. That leaky defense caught up to them in the playoffs when they lost at home to the New York Giants. But the defense this year has looked nothing like what we saw last year. They're really able to get heat on the quarterback again. Clay Matthews looks like a different player. Maybe he's back on the juice or something. No, I'm only half kidding, but Matthews looks like he's returned to that form of year before last. Just harassed Chicago quarterback Jay Cutler in the Packers' Week 2 victory. And really, we're making a big deal out of the Packers' struggles. This team should be 2-1. If not for the blown call at the end of that Seattle game last week, Packers would have won that game, and then maybe we wouldn't have been talking about them as a surprise at all. I guess it would have still been a little bit of a surprise that the offense hadn't been able to really get going yet, but 2-1 with a loss to the San Francisco 49ers, no big deal, no big deal there. But at 1-2, some people ringing the alarm bells around Green Bay. Think that's a little premature. Still think Green Bay should be looked at as the favorite to win the NFC North and the favorite to win this game this weekend. Now, they're 9-point favorites, which is a big number to be given a good New Orleans Saints offense. And this number in Vegas opened at 5.5, quickly moved to 7.5, where it's currently at right now in most places out in Vegas. This line is 7.5. We mentioned 9 at BETDAQ. So if you're a Saints believer, if you think the Saints are going to keep this one close, BETDAQ, an excellent place to have a play, because not many places I've seen that you can get the Saints at +9, but that's exactly where they are at BETDAQ. 53 the total in this game. That's a high total because we expect a lot of scoring. We mentioned the struggles of the Saints defense. We mentioned both these two offenses are known to be among the best in the league, and now the Packers have surprisingly struggled this year. But listen, the New Orleans Saints, their last-ranked defense, come to town. That is just what the doctor ordered to get this Packers offense back on track. And if you believe in trends, statistics, things like that to point you in the right direction, the over is a player here you look at. The over is 16-5 in Green Bay's last 21 home games, 7-1 in New Orleans' last 8 games overall. Again, that number is 53 in this game, so over could be a good bet here. As far as the handicap, I think it's too many points here. I expect the Packers to win the game, but I'm not comfortable giving New Orleans 9 points. Still have too much respect for Drew Brees and this New Orleans offense and what they can do. It would surprise me. I'd be mildly surprised, maybe a little more than mildly surprised, if the Saints went on the road this week and pulled out the upset. But I would not be surprised if the Saints scored enough points to make this game very competitive. Again, Green Bay is a 9-point home favorite in this game. This game, I believe, is the Sky TV game, so many people watching this will be getting to see this game. And it's an exciting game. Again, it's not every day that you'd say a game between two teams whose combined record is 1-5 might be the most exciting game of the weekend. But I think that's just what we have here in this New Orleans-Green Bay game.